Tiptoed round my door, was not looking for you. Busy finding who I am. Just 1 year ago, you couldn't have told me that this was a part of my plan. Never imagined such a thing. Never imagined such a thing. So beautiful, wonderful. Never imagined such a thing. Never imagined such a thing. Now I understand. Was all in the timing. Busy counting down the days. And I could never see, never would have guessed that you'd show up for me this way. Never imagined such a thing. Never imagined such a thing. So beautiful, wonderful. Never imagined such a thing. Never imagined such a thing. Was better than this, heaven never missed. Glad he showed me this, showed me you in this life. Was better than this, heaven never missed. Glad he showed me this, showed me you in this life. Was better than this, heaven never missed. Glad he showed me this, showed me you in this life. Was better than this, heaven never missed. Glad he showed me this, showed me you in this life. Glad he showed me this, showed me you in this life. Was better than this, heaven never missed. Glad he showed me this, so beautiful, wonderful. Glad he showed me this, showed me you in this life. Was better than this, heaven never missed. Glad he showed me this, showed me you in this life.
invite all of you to OC Live. Hi, we are Hermanos Herrera. We would like to invite all of you to OC Live, free event at Oxnard College, March 23rd, Thursday. At what time? 6 p.m. 6 p.m. See you there.
Welcome to OC Live.
That's right, we want to inspire all of you. Acting, theater, it's going to be a great couple of semesters.
Once in a lifetime.
They are your friends. They are my family.
Hello, Oxnard College. How are you doing? Yeah, wow, welcome to OC Live. Yeah, we've got a great evening for you tonight. You know, OC Live brings amazing array of programming to Oxnard College. We do science, as you're going to see tonight. We do art. We do music. We do dancing, do theater. It's really a wonderful thing, and it's all free to you. We're open to the public. It's for everybody, and I welcome you to be here tonight, but also to come back next week. Next week, as you saw in the preview, we have an incredible family group of musicians coming, Hermanos Herrera. They are just incredible. They play with such ferocity, such joy, that it'll be hard to sit in your seats, I'll tell you that right now. Next Thursday, March 23 at 6 p.m., please come. I think you've also gotten a flyer about that, so pin that to your door, tape it to your door, put it on your refrigerator, whatever you need to do to remember to come back in 1 week, Thursday, March 23 at 6 p.m. My name is Reiner Mack. I'm director of OC Live, and I want to give a shout out to the team that puts OC Live together. Professor Anitra Lawson of the Film, TV, and Electronic Media Department is amazing and has her students volunteer for the program. And then we also have Dr. Scott Wolf of the Music Department, who is our technical wizard on the team. And then we also have student volunteers, amazing student volunteers from the Film, TV, and Electronic Media Department, the Art Department, and also the Environmental Sciences Department this evening. Let's give a big round of applause for those student workers. We also have some very talented ASL interpreters tonight. William Sowers on the stage with me right now, and Kelly Johnson, you're gonna see her in a few minutes later in the show. Let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And finally, I want to give a shout out to the man in the booth, our technical director, Mr. Jeremy Haynes. All right, now this is the moment that you've all been waiting for, I know. We have a really fun show for you tonight. You're going to have quizzes, games, lots of great information, even some jokes, amazingly. If you know Professor Jim Danza, you already know that we're going to have some jokes in this presentation. What is it? It's climate change, it's personal, that's what it is. You're going to find out about it tonight. Enjoy the show. Let's have fun.
Extremely dangerous questions, because with our present knowledge we have no idea what would happen. Even now, man may be unwittingly changing the world's climate through the waste products of his civilization. Due to our release through factories and automobiles every year of more than 6 billion tons of carbon dioxide, which helps air absorb heat from the sun, our atmosphere seems to be getting warmer. This is bad. Well, it's been calculated a few degrees rise in the Earth's temperature would melt the polar ice caps. And if this happens, an inland sea would fill a good portion of the Mississippi Valley. Tourists in glass-bottom boats would be viewing the drowned towers of Miami through 150 feet of tropical water. Foreign weather, we're not only dealing with forces of a far greater variety than even the atomic physicist encounters, but with life itself.
Hello. All right. Got a great turnout tonight. All right, thank you for coming. And so we're going to have fun, right? Oh, I don't think you're going to have fun with that. No. Are you going to have fun? Yeah, there you go. That's how you have fun. That's how you do it. Is this going to be a great show? All right. Is climate change great or not? It's not. Yeah, not. Yeah, a little bit of low key on that one, definitely. All right, so this is like the Tonight Show, and so I'm going to do a monologue where I do so-so jokes, and you're going to laugh better than that. Yeah, you better give me some love, man. All right, so, well, first of all, you have to know my comedy style, and then you have to tolerate it. So there you go. And by the way, the health department has a thing on me, like I got to only do 5 minutes or less, because otherwise you might have some health effects for my awful humor. All right, so, but we all need to do our part for climate change, right? That's what we're all told, is do our little part. And I'm doing my part. For example, I eat whole foods, unprocessed. Well, maybe they're processed. Things like donuts and bagels, right? Whole foods. That's that's what I do. But I try to be vegetarian, and it worked for a while, but I decided to go vegan-free. How about that? Does that work? So, my wife was thinking about plastic surgery, so she wants to have recycled plastic surgery. Isn't that better for the environment? Probably wouldn't work too well. But yeah, we need to save fuel. For example, instead of driving to the gym, you should walk or bicycle to the gym. I do that, so I don't have to go to the gym. That's even better. Way better than. But I do a triathlon once a year. Of course, it takes me all year. I could even do a 10-minute mile in 20 minutes. So car sharing is a really good thing to do, right? You call these different services, pick you up, so you don't have to own a car. In fact, Google and Uber are joining forces to start a new service called Goober. So look for that coming up. Also, let's think about how we should be more alarmed about climate change. Now, for example, when are you alarmed but you don't act? think of the snooze alarm, right? What is a snooze alarm? It's like, well, I agree with it in principle that I should get up. However, I'm going to hit the snooze button, right? And you don't get up. And I think we're acting like that as a society when it comes to climate change. If you think about it, we all know we need to do more, but we kind of keep hitting that snooze button. In fact, we're often told that we need to do our little part. And it's a little bit wrong. We all need to do a major part, and that major part is getting corporations and government to be more responsive. So you're going to see a video tonight where I drove and used gasoline to get to the Arctic. Shame on me. I actually feel that way. I'm doing other things to compensate for that. But I had no other choice to do the investigation I wanted to do to get there. I would love to have a battery truck that gets most of the energy renewable and so on, but we're just not there yet. So think what you can do. I calculated my impact on the environment for that year driving one truck. It was 0.00046% was my contribution. So it is my little part if you avoid driving, for example. But there are several power plants here on this planet Earth that are 5% of them produce well more than half of the greenhouse gases. It's 5 power plants, not percent. 5 power plants are responsible for over half of the greenhouse gas emissions for energy. So just think if those got offline, the difference. So that's why we need your activism, and you're going to learn a lot more about that tonight. So tonight we'll have a game show called Climate in Jeopardy. We just made up that name. Climate in Jeopardy game. We'll have a couple of contestants. And then we're going to have a little bit of a slideshow. We'll also have panelists, including a special guest, actually 2 special guests. And so you're going to really enjoy this. All right, so let's move on with the rest of the show. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to go through a few slides, which you'll mostly just sort of watch, and you'll laugh, you'll cry, and you might actually worry. And that's actually part of the goal here. And the question is, should I worry? I mean, what could happen with climate change? Well, heat waves, heat exposure, flooding, droughts, fires and smoke, high taxes and insurance, high food prices, and what? Yeah, that's scary. Well, this is Earth's land temperature and ocean temperatures. Do you see a trend? The last few years, 1970s on, super dramatic changes. Heat waves are more frequent, longer duration. Heat exposure, this is humans being exposed. By year 2030, 27 billion person years, amount of years added up as per people, is going to be huge, and even almost double that in year 2090. And more lower income people are impacted. All these trends are going up, aren't they? This is sea level rise. Oh no, my slide's floating away. All right, I better move on. Longer droughts. This is Southern California, where you live. Look how on the left, that's the drought index showing drier years. But look at the green. That is excessive rainfall, like this year. We have double the snowpack already for the day. On the right is temperatures for California averages going up where you live. Things are drying up. The Sierra Nevada snowpack, you see it shrinking left to right. Reduction of agricultural water means higher food prices, right? Here's our Santa Clara River with some water, finally, which is good, but someday it could flood. And I apologize for anyone who lives near the ocean, but you might want to sell your property soon because the ocean will start coming in. These are predictions from the Nature Conservancy. Year 2060 is showing areas inundated. By year 2100, the ocean is well coming into many communities. This is the worst case scenario where the water's actually coming through much of the Navy base and into the city of Port Hueneme and parts of Oxnard. Fires. As you go from left, 1970s on over, you see a lot of green, and then you see expansion of the biggest fires ever in the past 5 years. Danger to humans. On the left is deaths from climate change. And you can see it's approaching the top, which is always heart disease, stroke, right, is a major killer. But now climate change will be easing in to be another threat. So what's the plan? Here's the plan that's actually fully implemented to solve this problem. Yeah, there's no plan. No plan. There are plans, but nothing that's going to be implemented at this point to fully solve this. Okay, right? You're worried now. So how did we get here? Here's the Climate in Action Plan. The Paris Accord, signed in 2015, doesn't go far enough and no enforcement. Kyoto Protocol, 1997. 23 years ago. Wasn't enough. And look, we've actually increased our carbon releases to the atmosphere. United Nations. Okay, I need your help on this part. United Nations. Say it. 31 years ago? Before you were born? They started talking to address this. They knew it was a problem. But again, we've hit the snooze button, haven't we? Climate scientist Michael Mann, he showed a graph of Earth's temperature going back thousands of years. And then at the end, it peaks up here. He warned the world. Also in 1988, the first congressional hearings on this. Now, say it out loud when you see the number. How many years ago was this? When also Carl Sagan testified on this. What? 35 years ago. The Conservation Foundation reported in 1963 the first call for action. I wasn't even born yet. Carbon dioxide was researched by Keeling. He showed the levels are going up steeply starting when he measured it in 1960s. He got an award for that back with Vice President Al Gore. Say the year? How many years ago? Aren't you shocked? 62 years ago. Come on, we're running out of patience. And even early research in the early 1900s said carbon dioxide is likely and would warm the Earth. How will we cope? Here's one professor's plan. Well, not really, I don't think that, but. All right, so that's our first part of our presentation. And we're gonna start the game show next. So I'm gonna look for a couple of participants. So go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll go with you. And over here, come on up. So yeah, go to the backstage area, and we'll have you come up. Meanwhile, we have a special sponsor for tonight's show, for our Jeopardy game, Climate in Jeopardy.
Jeopardy! Brought to you by Calamity Deodorant. When you're out fighting climate change, there's Calamity. Calamity is a drug that should only be used to treat perspiration during heat waves, mass migration, sea level rise, and yelling at climate deniers. Side effects may occur, including dryness during prolonged droughts, during unusually heavy downpours, nausea at climate data, irritation at protest marches, and thoughts of insults during climate debates. This is not a climate change drug and will not treat heat stroke, irritable Congress syndrome, or climate-induced plausible deniability. Product is not effective during sea level rise. If a fiery rash begins, or a rash of fires, see your climatologist.
All right, it's time for our game show. We are in Jeopardy! All right, let's bring out our contestants from backstage. All right, come on over. Move on here. And what's your name?
My name is Far.
All right, we have Far. And Ryan over here, we'll put the names up here. And then your name?
My name is Gilbert.
All right, we got Gilbert and Far. And first of all, tell me about yourself, Far.
Well, I'm a student here at Oxnard College. I'm currently taking the geography course, and I'm also taking English, math, PE, and AVID.
All right, so the geography course. You look familiar,
Yeah.
so let's just say that. All right, and Gilbert.
Yeah, so I'm also a student here. Right now I'm taking geography. I'm nervous, sorry. I'm also taking.
Was it geography you're taking?
I'm so confused right now. I'm also taking geography, art, and fire technology classes.
All right, thank you. All right, as you could see, we have a game board with lots of money. It's totally fake. All right, but you will pick categories and numbers based on that. Every right answer you get 1 point. However, if you get a false answer right, you get 5 points. So if you say false and it matches, you get the super bonus. All right, so let's play the game. And we're going to start off with Far. Pick your first.
Let's go hot for 1,000.
Hot 1,000. All right, Canada hit 121 degrees Fahrenheit. True or false?
True.
He goes with true, and he is true. All right. Points going there. All right, we're going to alternate. So Gilbert, go ahead.
I'll take warming for 1,000.
Wow, you guys are big earners. All right, I haven't done everything possible to reduce climate change. True or false?
True.
All right. Shameful, but true. I'm with you, though. I haven't done everything either. All right, give him some applause, sir. How did I know that? All right, all right.
Let's go to sad for $400.
400. Right. U.S. president said people are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times, as opposed to once.
True.
You know who said it?
No idea.
Can you guess?
No clue.
All right, you can look at the screen.
Oh, okay.
All right, that's a real quote. No applause for that one. That's fine. All right, I'm sorry. All right, Gilbert.
Hot for 600.
Hot 600. Sea level could eventually reach 150 feet.
True.
True. You paid attention in class. Yes. All right. And as he studied. All right.
Let's go to warming warning for $200.
Warming warning, 200. 70,000 people have died in a single heat wave.
I'd say that's true.
All right, let's check, and there you are. Wow. Unfortunately true. Gilbert.
Warming warning for 800.
Climate change is only reversible by year 2030.
False.
Probably true. Not 100% on that one. It's going to keep happening no matter what we do, although we still could reduce it. All right.
Let's go to hot for $400.
The tropics will become too hot to live in.
That is true.
You sound confident.
I am.
All right. Very good. Far's got people, I can tell. All right, Gilbert.
Said sad for 800.
800. The first warning of carbon dioxide emissions was in 1912.
True.
Yes, someone who paid attention a little while ago. All right. All right. Far.
Let's go to said sad for $600.
Said sad, 600. U.S. President said, "We are the first generation to feel climate change and the last who can do something about it."
I'm going to say true.
Let's see, computer. All right, it's not clicking right. So let me go back one and see what happens. There it goes. Okay, it's true. President Obama said that. All right, very good. All right, Gilbert.
Warming warning for 400.
Zombie fires are real.
False.
Wow, it's true. These are fires that don't go out even over winter in the Arctic. Unbelievable. I double-checked that one myself. I'm like, really, zombie fires? Enough of the killer viruses and insects and all that. But yeah, they're not really zombies. All right, Far.
Let's go to warming warning for $600.
Climate change is really bad.
That's true.
Okay. Didn't have to think about that one. All right. All right, thanks. Yep. Gilbert.
Said sad for 1,000.
All right. Many scientists began to warn of climate change in the late 1950s.
True.
And the keyword is many, and that is true. All right. Far.
Let's go to hot for $200.
Sure you want to go 800? All right, I'm just kidding. That's right. All right, this is the best OC Live ever.
That is very true.
All right. All right, let's go Gilbert.
Hot for 800.
Hot 800. The Arctic Circle reached 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
True.
Good guess, yes. All right. And Far. Go and say it.
It's sad for $200.
All right, so there should be a false somewhere, but let's see what happens. I don't want to influence you.
I'd say that's false, you know?
Well, let's read it.
Yeah.
U.S. President said, "Man, we could use a big fat dose of global warming."
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with false on that one, just to be safe. Man.
What? And also, that same person can't close an umbrella.
What?
Well, there's one more box up here, and we'll give Gilbert a chance on that one box. You see the box on the right? Pick that one. Say it better than that. Look.
This is a super fun game.
Oh, I forgot to tell you to guess. You would have said false, right?
Yes.
Right, because that's only pretty fun. All right. All right, so that's our game. And so take a look at the winner. All right, so Far's got 7 and Gilbert got 5. All right, thanks. All right, thank you. We got prizes. Wait, we got prizes. First, we'll do the consolation prize. Everyone gets some prize. And one here is a bag from Friends of the Santa Clara River. We'll give that to you. The other one is a hat for Coastal Cleanup Day. Far, did you go to that? Just say you did.
Yeah,
Just the
sure
hat.
I did. Yeah.
You got the hat anyway.
Thank you.
And being the winner, you get to pick one plant in front.
I will
All
take
right? These are
this
native
one.
plants that grow in California. And so pick one out and then plant it somewhere. If you don't have a place, we got space out here.
All right.
All
Eeny,
right.
meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by its toe. If it hollers, let it go. My mom says the very best one, and you are it. This one. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so I'm going to now introduce the movie, and I want to tell you a few people helped with the movie. The movie is a documentary that I made, and one person came along that couldn't be here tonight, Jim Danza. He's active in the Ventura area with Sierra Club. That's how I met him. So he was my right-hand man for helping out with the expedition to the Arctic. And then also some editing help I got from Professor Scott Wolf, so thank you for that. And definitely this video is really a trip of a lifetime for me because I'm a geographer, right? And geographers not just like to travel, it's like sort of our business. and always had the dream of getting to the Arctic Ocean. And so really cool that this worked out, but I also have an important story to tell, so I hope you enjoy the video.
We've lived here in Twillingate for the past 16 years. I grew up here and moved to Labrador City, where I lived for over 30 years. When I grew up here, all of those arbors all froze over in the wintertime, and we had snow. It came in the fall and it stayed until spring. Now, those harbors never freeze over. We could run cars on those harbors. Last winter, the snow would come, then the rain, freezing rain. You can't do winter things like you could when I grew up here. I remember when I was 14 years old, I got new skates for Christmas. And that Christmas, we skated all Christmas on the saltwater ice. That summer, there was a pod of orcas. And that was almost unheard of in those waters. Now you see orcas all summer long because the water is warmed up so much. Tourism is, I think it started with the icebergs. Now the icebergs we don't see often as many, not nearly as many. I think the climate has changed so much that by the time they get this far, they're broken up and drifted off. When we bought this place, the old gentleman lived in that house. As we went up one morning in the year 2000, and he sat on the bench up on that top of that hill, and he counted 102 icebergs in this bay. This summer we got two. Instead of 2 summers before that, we had none. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. Yeah.
Typically, it's the highest temperature is around 25 to 30. That's in Celsius. I don't know Fahrenheit because we're in Canada.
Oh, students can recalculate.
Okay, awesome. And it gets down to minus 40 in the winter. I've been told though that in the past it was minus 50, minus 60 was a bit more common, and hot temperatures were less common. In terms of water, it's a pretty dry place, but we're starting to see a bit more moisture and precipitation as things change. We have what's called permafrost here, meaning the ground is permanently frozen to a certain depth. The ground is like a frozen steak, and typically in the past that steak would stay frozen, but now what we're seeing is the water thawing out of the steak, so in this case the ground and the soil, and it's changing the structure of the soil.
It's also true if it's tofu and not steak.
Yes.
Right, in your example?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Guess we won't go vegetarian with the example.
The flat land is slipping downward
toward this creek here, partially because of melting of the permafrost underneath the layers of the earth here across the way.
With permafrost thaw, methane especially is being released into the atmosphere, which is then contributing to our overall greenhouse gas emissions. And then that contributes to global warming, which then circles back and creates more permafrost thaw. So it's sort of this loop that is self-perpetuating. So then when we've built a lot of structures on that ground, those buildings are really becoming wobbly and changing. And the further you drive north, the more permafrost there is. So you might see quite a few buildings in Dawson and further up that are completely really leaning, and it's very obvious. Here in the Yukon, it's a big problem because a lot of communities are built on permafrost. So we're seeing schools, hospitals, homes shifting.
My appreciation to Canada, I am drinking Canada Dry. I don't know if it's made here or not.
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't know.
Look on there. Yeah, so it's made in the U.S. Do you actually drink that here?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah.
Okay. It's important.
I learned from really brilliant scientists and knowledge holders here in the Yukon about what's going on with the climate here, but also things like floods and wildfire. I'd say the bulk of my job is more creating policies that are reducing our greenhouse gas emissions. So things like promoting energy efficiency in buildings, so we need to heat them less. Zero emissions vehicles, the bulk of our emissions here, over half of them come from transportation because we're so far away. And we need to drive a lot, but we also need to ship up goods by the road. So a lot of policies to look at that.
Ocean. The Arctic Ocean. It's fresh water. You are from here? Grew up here?
48, all my whole 48 years.
Ooh, I don't want to walk there.
It's all right, but it's just every year the more and more erosion happens here. The land was over 150 feet out. The last month, I lost maybe 20 feet.
So, are there other houses out here?
Houses located all down this stretch here.
Wow.
And they relocated 4 houses 2.5 years ago. There's one house which I had to get to.
So they tried to protect it, it looks like, at one time?
Yeah, but you gotta do something to do it right. I mean, you just throw boulders, whatever they have here.
Right.
It's gonna be big boulders and they don't break.
So are the houses sinking here? I know some places they are.
A lot of them that are on pilings, they're starting to shift. The buildings, the houses. Well, I never really thought about climate change until you see it happening more and more.
Losing some trees out here.
That's a joke. We never did have trees.
Oh, that's what I thought. I know there's some trees on the way in, so-called trees, the boreal forest.
House here, house here. There used to be a government building here. Used a couple houses down, but one was half away in the water. When we had the big storm, this whole road was under the water. The water comes pretty damn close here.
So you think I should come back in winter?
What? Yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
And one month of darkness in the day.
Changes in fishing over your life? Is there more fish or less fish or any difference?
I don't think there's more or less, but we're just fishing at a different time. Fall of the thaw and freeze every year. It's changed. It freezes later and thaws earlier now. We travel on the ice, but it's a little later every year, that we can have access to it. If you never had a calendar, you'd still know that it's winter, spring, summer, fall. That hasn't changed. But the time we go out has changed if you're following a calendar. Climate change, it means erosion, so we have eroding beaches. And you see some big boulders behind you that had to be brought in to do for shoreline protection. Moving infrastructure for probably 30 years further inland. As something is built, gets built a little further inland, so we're adapting slowly. There is a big mitigation program going to happen within the next probably 2 years. They're gonna try to preserve what shoreline we have.
You often hear the term siloed in government, at least in Canada, and so there's all these boundaries between the different offices and arms of government.
Yeah.
It's within the territorial government here, and we are meant to sort of be across, we're like a secretariat, so a hub.
We used to be further out in the communities we used to live in are now eroded away. We moved here, up the coast. There are communities that are no longer there, where we had traditional villages, but we're adaptive people.
I declined to move because
You have some time.
I'm good a couple of years, but I like this area.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you. It's beautiful.
As a harvester, we're not struggling, but as a community, we are.
And we're really pushing to, we can call it mainstreaming climate change and make it understood that it's impacting every aspect of life and all of our actions are also contributing to it.
We have to move and develop new areas, and that costs a lot of money. For a small community or 1,000 people, that's non-tax basis, a challenge.
Fish out there to help the birds?
Yep, the carcasses and the guts and skins, they all get their share of fish. All summer people feed them. They come up and they lay their eggs. We get a good return of eggs from all the gulls that come up here. The eggs in the store are good, but they're expensive and not as good as the wild eggs we get.
So, what are the stores like here as far as cost and the quality of the food?
It's expensive. Quality is not always great because anything that they got to bring up here has got to be frozen first. And the fresh meat, if it's If it's brought up unfrozen, it's usually already getting old. Our country food is much more available. It just costs a bit of time, and it's way more nutritious. There's a season for everything. Right now, people are just fishing. In July, we whale. Whales. In the spring, we hunt snow geese and all the different species of birds. In the winter, we go for caribou, moose, and bears.
It's a dinosaur. Regurgitated a ball. And you see this reflection. Oh, you poop now. Alright, time to go maybe. What the hell? It's not even Mason.
I am headed to a place to find gold. Of course, I can't tell you where this is.
Alright, this is my secret spot where I'm finding gold. So I'm going to scoop out this area here and see what we find.
Now down to the river to pan this out. Get it all wet and shake the gold down to the bottom. Get it down to smaller and smaller amounts. The heavy gold will sink to the bottom. The less dense rocks will float to the top. That's a piece right there. Piece right there. even a mudslide. Red gas can, or the white propane tank, or the black barbecue, or my black truck, or formerly black truck. Piles of mud everywhere. Hey, the front looks pretty good. Well, one good thing about the mud is that it's not dusty. When it dries, it's not quite as dirty. It's gonna be time for some cleaning. That way is north, and you see a little bit of sun. Yes, I am here in the darkness, very close to the Arctic Circle, 66 degrees north. Now it's time for dinner. Fish, of course. Traditional method with breadcrumbs. It is pretty chilly outside. Well, after all, it's the Arctic Ocean. The temperature is about 45 degrees with winds 25 miles per hour, but it's supposed to be increasing to winds of 60 kilometers per hour, which is actually about 35. Pretty dang windy. And then temperature is about 43, not too bad. But it is cold if you're outside, very cold and damp. And let's take a look at poor little Barney. It's 3 a.m. I hear the wind. I'm inside. The back of the truck. Hear it? We are back at the campsite that had the fox that took Barney's bowl. Those little foxes left evidence of snooping around the truck, looking inside both sides of the truck. We are having a little trouble. We're driving, the wheels are shaking, and we found out why. We washed 3 times. There's chunks of mud making the wheels unbalanced. All right, we're gonna see how much mud we took off after 3 washes. This is what remains. Whoa, no way. All this was in my tire after washing it 3 times. It's crazy. Well, the truck's clean.
All right, thank you, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it, but also that you were scared a little bit. All right, we're going to meet. We have a special guest. And we're going to meet someone who's in the video. They're going to be live from the Arctic Ocean area. His name is Ryan Yakalea. You saw him in the video. So we're going to connect up via Zoom. And there he is. Hello, Ryan. All right, we need the voice maybe. Obviously, this is a neat feat we're doing with the video. Can you hear me okay, Ryan? All right, we just need the voice turned up. I hear something. Yeah, I can barely hear something. Let's see if we can get the sound fixed. Well, while we get that adjusted, I'll tell you that I met Ryan. I roamed around the town, and he was very generous to offer his time. You saw his house literally on the ledge,
really
hence the name of the movie.
Or if you're doing it
On the
right.
Ledge. All right, are you there now, Ryan? All right, well, maybe we'll have to do, we'll figure something out. So maybe we can do another guess while we get that fixed. Does that sound okay? Okay, we'll do that. So let's go ahead and bring out Lucia. Oh, you got it? Okay. We got the voice. Voice only, maybe. See, on TV, they cut and then they take this part out, right? Your live audience. I have a joke about the Arctic. Do you want to hear it? Well, you know, the Arctic is going to have more fog, right? Which means Santa Claus will not know the way. He'll start to get lost, right? Well, that's a lost clause. Nothing we can do about that. All right, are you there? Oh, Ryan heard it. He laughed, I think. All right, Ryan's back. So welcome, and thanks for being here. So tell us, what is the weather like where you are?
Well, Jim, I'm not in home right now. I'm 140 kilometers from home. I'm in Inuvik, the next hub. The weather is minus 37 right now.
Minus 37, wow. So how do you survive that? Like, what do you do? Because you're not dressed for it, I'm telling you that right now.
Well, actually, I'm in a hotel right now, but
okay.
when you're back home there, we're built for this weather here, and you gotta prepare yourself for it, get used to it. We're used to it, so it's good. As long as there's no wind, because when the wind kicks in there, I wouldn't want to be outside.
Right. Wow. It's really, I really respect the people in your community. Can you tell us the name of your community, your First Nations?
Tuktiaktuk.
Yeah, that's the name of the town. What's the name of the people? What name do you go for your people?
Inuvialuit.
Okay, so it has the word like Inuit or Inuit in it. It's part of the town name? Because you're in Inuvik, right?
Yes, sir.
Right, all right. Has there been more erosion in front of your house since I was there last September?
Well, last September, Jim, when you left there, I showed you what was taken away. I lost about 15 feet in about 2 weeks, but since you left, I didn't lose anything because it started cooling off here. So, but I'm kind of worried about here this summer here because I got to do something there to protect my area there, or else I'm gonna lose my house into the ocean.
Right. So I guess you're working toward that. Is there a solution, you think?
Well, the good thing is my grandfather owns a company with a lot of heavy equipment, and I could use equipment, and I got some cement blocks, and I'll just try to do what I can do to preserve myself for the summer.
Yeah. So you think you'll actually move your house? Like pick it up and move it?
Well, that's the thing, Jim. I just don't want to move my house because I love my location, and I just don't want to move anywhere else inland. But if I
Right.
gotta move it, I gotta move it.
Right. Well, I do hope the best for you and your family. Should I come back there in winter? I did mention that in the video. Should I go there, like now, and say hello in person?
Well, no, I'm not home right now. I'm in
Oh,
music.
okay. I just mean in general, like in winter. Like, you think I would survive coming from Southern California?
Well, if we give you some Eskimo gear, you'd be okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, I might have to come.
Keep your southern gear at home.
One reason is I accidentally stole the parking permit I was supposed to return. So I wonder if I should come and bring that back someday. I could mail it, I suppose.
No, just tell them you know me and everything will be good.
Okay. All right. Thank you for connecting. And if we can, we might bring you back when we have questions from the audience a little bit later. So thank you very much.
We could,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll be happy to answer questions from the audience. And
All right, we'll bring you back in about 5 or 10 minutes if we can. We'll try.
Okay, right on. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, give an applause for Ryan for joining us. Okay, we'll bring out our next guest, Lucia Marquez from Cause. Come on out. Hi, how are you? All right, so Lucia, tell us about the organization Cause.
Hi everyone. I work for a community organization called Cause. It has a really long acronym, but stands for the Central Coast Alliance, United for a Sustainable Economy. You don't really hear the word environment or climate in there, but we're a multi-issue organization where environmental justice is really one of the pillars of our organization, where we organize frontline communities that are impacted by, some of the biggest social justice issues like housing, pollution. And so I've been there working for over 6
Right.
years.
So looking at the acronym CAUSE, I can work in climate and environment very easily to that. I don't know if it makes sense, but it's a good acronym. All right, and what does your organization do to help people that are, well, let's talk about how people are impacted by climate change locally. What do you observe and think about day to day? Because we're starting to see the climate change here. That 98 degrees last September, it was 10 a.m. before the sun was even strong. That was crazy. That was here on campus at our weather station. What effects are you worried about locally?
Mm-hmm. I mean, when we think about, climate, the way we're experiencing it right now, it's like we've experienced major wildfires. We experienced the impacts of that here in Oxnard, where we saw the wildfire smoke, and it was outdoor workers that work on landscaping, farm workers. They still had to go to work, and they were working during those really dangerous conditions. Extreme heat as well. We already are experiencing extreme heat during the summer and the past heat waves. Outdoor workers, they are so vulnerable as those conditions are continuing to increase and get more and more severe. But those are also really difficult workplaces where there's oftentimes a lot of violations of people's working conditions, not getting paid during their breaks, not having access to clean water, having access to shade. All of those are things that workers are already struggling with, and as we get more and more extreme heat days, that's just gonna get worse. As we get more wildfires, it's just gonna get worse.
So do you think the workers are connecting these effects to climate change? Like, do they go to work and say, that darn climate change?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's disconnected, it's just a way of life? They're getting, unfortunately, I don't wanna say getting used to, but expect? Are they connecting it?
I think something on the front of so many people's minds is just surviving, right? It's like being able to pay your rent, being able to get your paycheck to provide for your family. I don't think it's in the front of everyone's mind of like, damn, we need to fix climate change so my job is better. It's people are just in survival mode, and I think that's just the lived experience of so many people, especially here in Oxnard.
Right. Okay, I think we'll bring out our next guest because he does a lot of work as well on these issues. So let's bring out Adam Vega. Adam Vega is with a farming group. So come on, give it for Adam Vega. You can tell he's a regular up here. Needs a microphone. He had to do the acrobats without a microphone. All right. All right, you're killing it. Let's go.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, so Adam,
Yes.
Welcome. And tell us about the organization that you're working with.
Yeah, just for the crowd, that wasn't a spasm or a random tick. That was me fighting climate change.
All right, yes.
Really quickly, I'm part of an organization called EcoFarm. That's short for the Ecological Farming Association, and this is an organization that has been around for a very, very long time. A lot of the early pioneers would come together, gather, talk, discuss some of these different topics, and frankly, birth the organic movement as we know today. So big passion for the environment, a lot of work with agriculture, and happy to be here. And the reason why I did the little fighting kung fu skit, very poorly of course, was because in the video we heard from the former mayor, he used a very important word. It was mitigation. And that's kind of where we're at today, mitigation and adaptation. If we look at this as a fight, it puts us in kind of like a binary mindset, a zero-sum game. There's winners and there's losers. At this point, we need to kind of figure out how to mitigate and adapt to the situation that we're currently all in.
Yeah, so we need to adapt, but also we need to reduce the impacts. This is only the beginning, right? Right, so do you have any thoughts on what people can do?
Yeah, so I look at it as like a two-part kind of thing, two sides of the same coin. A big part of it is reducing emissions, curbing them, as well as kind of calculating how much we're putting out, so taking an inventory. The other half is sequestering carbon, so taking out all those greenhouse gases, figuring out how to fixate them either in the earth, wetlands, or the ocean. And I'm part of a lot of different groups. I'm an advisor to CFROG, Climate First, Removing Oil and Gas, where we work on a lot of these things. 9 to 5, I work at the port. So together we got a $500,000 grant to take an inventories emission around Ventura County, calculate it, and then figure out how to reduce these emissions. With EcoFarm, I'm figuring out how to capture that carbon, put it in the soil. I'm also on the board of the Merito Foundation, so connecting kids, youth, everyone to the fact that we have this ocean, this great carbon sink. So again, it's really exciting. It's a collective effort. One person, one organization can't do everything, but all of us together, we can do something.
So let me ask one important question, because I get the feedback that Lucia mentioned. Well, people are busy surviving day-to-day life, and I always felt they were disconnected from the environment, even though they're connected. But I understand they're busy people. It's a busy job to survive, obviously. But at the same time, they're impacted by failing government, electing poor leaders. Right? Without good government, we can't solve this. So I'm almost, I hate to say it, but I'm almost done with people saying, well, I'm too busy. Because you're being impacted hugely, and it's kind of time to get upset and get some action. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, that's what we do as an organization, Cause. We're a base-building organization where we organize. We, meet with people in their homes. We go talk to students here at Oxnard College and the high schools, and we talk about these things that are going on in our communities, whether it's the rising cost of rent or the climate impacts, the pollution that we're experiencing from the power plants on our coast. And we get people to be like, yes, I need to do something. We need to take action, but people can't do it alone. The way we talk about it is like the way we're going to make changes in our community is that our communities need access to power. It's like if you have power, you can change things. And so the power that we have as a community is when we organize and we come together on an issue that we really care about and we identify a change. And something that Cause, the way we do is we work with community and we work on issues based off of solutions that are based off of people's lived experiences, connect and advocate around policy changes that are thought through by community members who are literally impacted by these things. And so unless we organize and get together.
Right. So afterwards, you guys will be available for some one-on-one with the audience. Now, I want to be fair that there are a few benefits to climate change. And so I'm going to show you, especially with sea level rise, I feel like, I just want to be honest, there are maybe a few things that are, we might say, acceptable with sea level rise. So, in fact, I have the top 10. How about that? Top 10 okay things about sea level rise. So let's give this a shot here. Any good talk show has the top 10, right? So let's see if this works. And okay, actually, that's the default screen. That's pretty good, right? Yeah, you'll be diving. That was a good one, Jeremy. We're working our way over to a slide set, which I think you got there. There you go. All right, here we go. Top 10 good things about sea level rise. Think I'm controlling it?
Check the batteries.
Right, let's give it another shot. There we go. Number 10, I don't have to go to Walmart. What is that? Floating out of business sale there. Right? But then Target will have a line to get in. But then there's easy loading at Target. Notice Target has a second story. They're really good planners at Target. As our oceans rise, more area for sea life, but we'll have to live in a bubble. And Oxnard College's Marine Studies program, it's a great program, by the way, we'll get to expand onto main campus. And President Kovian can fish from his office. Your boat counts. All right, well, okay, there's only 4 good things. I'm sorry. That was it. All right, thanks. All right. So, I think we are ready for some questions from the audience. And we're going to try to bring Ryan back onto the screen while we do that. And we'll have some microphones out there. But while we do that, we have one more special guest to bring out while the microphones get out there. And let's welcome Barney. He was easily impacted by cold. And you saw what happened to his little bowl. A fox really took his bowl, chewed it up, and we found the scraps. So I have a surprise for Barney. How about that? All right, so there you go. All right, so we'll let him enjoy that. All right, so we'll continue our questions, or start our questions now. And so do we have some questions out there? Just turn on the audience lights if we can. Ryan's on the line, it looks like, so feel free to ask any of our guests, even Barney. Someone will be back there in a minute.
Test. Okay. I have a question for Barney.
Okay.
Okay. Him specifically. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the new bowl? And do you miss your old one more?
He says he's busy eating. Can you wait?
Oh, okay.
All right. All right, we got a question in the middle. And on the side. Oh, all gone.
I have a question. How would you be able to live in Antarctica? I don't know. Because I was doing research, and it's kind of hard to live over there because they have like a lot of rules and regulations over there, which is kind of interesting because there's not a lot of pollution over there compared to here. So yeah, that's it.
You're asking about Antarctica, I think. And of course, I went to the Arctic. Antarctica, you have to go on a boat. And it's a trip I'm not really willing to do. It is pretty far and difficult to get there, and super expensive. But Arctic is a little bit unique situation. There's a way to get there. If you saw in the video, it was 550 miles of just dirt road. Anyone want to take a break? No more food. That's it for the food. So yeah, any other questions in the middle there? I can do about 2 more.
I was wondering, has the global warming had any impact on the intensity and frequency of the aurora borealis, or what is known as the northern lights?
Guess I'll answer that one. The professor, they told me. So, but I would say not. However, it's interesting. You mind if I lecture for a minute? I'm a professor, right? I gotta do this. I gotta stand up for this one. Come on, Barney. This is super interesting. If you notice, on the globe here is Greenland. You all know Greenland, the big lump of white, the North Pole. The ice is melting so much that the weight of Greenland as the Earth spins is making the Earth wobble a little bit differently. So it's not affecting the lights so much, but it's changing Earth's orbit slightly as Greenland gets lighter weight because of the melting ice. Pretty incredible. It's incredible they can measure it. It's tiny amounts. But apparently, wobbles of the Earth are part of the climate change story. Good question. Can I keep lecturing for another 3 hours? I could do that. No? Okay. I think we had one more question. Right over here.
It was a question about whether a certain amount of trees being planted would have an effect on climate change, or if there would be more needed besides just that.
So you said funding?
Not funding, planting of certain trees, plants, other things like that.
Yeah. It's I would say all hands approach, like every method possible. You know, people respond to economics. For example, the true cost of gasoline, you think like $5 is a lot. It's actually more like $10 or $12 if you add in government subsidies and the pollution, the health impacts of air quality, and you can even add a cost of a war or two that we've had that have been protecting our interests because of oil. So very quickly you find out gas is not cheap. You pay it in taxes and other ways indirectly. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that? On cost, how we spend money for this issue? If you had money, what would you do?
Oh, if we had money, I was talking to this guy who didn't have money, and then he got a lot of money. He got a lot of money from Elon Musk. He won his X Prize. He's doing an aquaculture project, and basically he's growing seaweed, and the seaweed create these little fish, and then it's run by solar, and he's found out how to effectively utilize that to create food, fuel, and fiber, but also help like capture some of that carbon and sink it to the bottom of the ocean. I thought that one was really cool. That's kind of like the latest and greatest that I was like interested in.
Okay. All right, I think that's time that we have.
Can we do perhaps, Jim, just one question for Ryan from someone in the audience? Since he's kind of coming from so far away.
I know. Let's get a question for Ryan. Keep your hand up if you have one.
Hello, Ryan. Hey, Ryan. How's it going? My name is Manuel, and my question to you and the community members up there, like with the video, I saw a lot of settlement issues in the homes that you guys live in. So I was wondering if you guys are stuck with that cost to repair like the foundations, or is there like government agencies that help you guys with all those settlement issues and make your homes livable again?
Thanks for the question. Yes, when we had to move our houses, relocate a few of the houses, the government spent $800,000 plus to move 5 houses to different locations. But like I was the only one that declined to move. But with the infrastructure of other houses in town, like with the house shifting and all that, we've got to pay for it ourselves. But the Inuvialuit organization that I work for, we get some money from the government to help ease the pain for the homeowners.
You know, as the mayor of Tuck said, they're not an economy based on finances so much, right? There's literally one grocery store, a restaurant opens sometimes, maybe 2, and so on. So there's no tax base. They're living partially off the land, and it's just all the animals. So, and there's not a lot of places. The place is full of water. The ocean's rising, the land's sinking, and it's already surrounded by lakes and rivers everywhere. So there's very little land. I think Ryan might agree with that. It's not easy to find a place in some cases.
All right, thanks a lot, Ryan. I wish you the best with your home and the community you live in.
All right, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. We'll get by. We'll get by.
Yeah. Resilient people. All right, I think we'll go ahead and end the show. And I want to thank a lot of people, including Professor Mack, who runs OC Live, Professor Wolf, also. So go ahead and give him an applause. Also, Jeremy and the crew that runs everything. I came with a complicated show, and they made this show happen with all the switching and the Zoom calls and all that. So appreciate that. I want to thank our guests. So thanks you for coming and being part of the show. And thanks Barney for coming, being my buddy on the trip. All right. All right, well, thanks everyone. And we'll have some gifts for you afterwards. You'll get to take a plant with you. All right. All right, so that's it for the show tonight. Come back April 20th. I'm doing another OC Live on the Santa Clara River. So hope to see you in about a month.
All right, and a big round of applause for Professor Jim Danza. Thank you so much. Fantastic, fantastic. Fun and educational at the same time. Thank you, Ryan, for zooming in. Ryan's gone back to the Arctic. Make sure you come back Thursday, March 23 at 6 o'clock for Hermanos Herrera. That's going to be a great show next week. If you are a student and you need to check in, a QR code will be on the screen in just a few seconds. You can use your phone to flash it and do the sign-in survey. Good night, everybody.
The textbooks probably have it. He was serious. Take one of those.
Stains on both our faces, certain this was needed. Your fragrance was bolder than mine. For the first time since your love honeydew. You sprayed more than you usually did, so I won't forget you. I remember you. see the